September 14th, 2016, at the Town Hall Board of Selectmen's Room, 7:30. First item on the planning board agenda is John Mecklin and Tim Murphy, A&R plan for 369 Old Bay Road. It's a modification to an A&R plan previously endorsed by the planning board in May of 2015. New plan eliminates the previous parcel A on Wilder Road, which is now part of Lot 3, and creates a new parcel B on Old Bay Road, Lot 1B and Lot 3. Gentlemen, want to come up, show us what you want to do?
Sure. So, Erica made this up. This is what you guys previously looked at last year.
Okay. Where's the driveway to the one new existing house? Can you give me my-
Over on Wilder Road. Here's that
So right around-
steep
okay.
cut driveway.
Got it.
Over here. So that Tim sold this land, and this house has been built. Tim lives over here. I live on this piece, which goes all the way down to the point.
Okay.
Goes down to the point with Ballville and Wilder Road.
Yep.
So just due to some different configurations and histories and back and forth, we had crafted a deal whereby Tim sold me this piece of land right here, parcel A, and that's what was signed off in this subdivision. Due to some lot constraints and geography, and then learning what this driveway became like, which is a tough driveway, the new plan will show that Tim is creating a new A&R lot right here. That'll show that. And then the contours just drop right off down to the level of Wilder Road right here. So it made sense for him to take this back, make it a safer driveway. And then way back when this land was developed in the 70s and 80s, cut off, the previous owner here actually developed his yard to include a bunch of his land. So I actually get some of my yard back. So it just made sense all the way around. So now what looks like my yard will now be my yard. So the new plan just takes this sliver, flops it over here, and shows his new lot. So then when we look at the big fancy one, then that all kind of...
Will you draw a line here, or 1A is now all, it's still all of this?
You'll see in about 4 seconds here.
You building a house to it on 1A or no?
I'm selling it, yep.
So like...
Yeah, I drove by, I saw that driveway, it looks pretty steep.
Yeah, it just doesn't have good sight lines because it's such a deep cut. So
It looks like
You did a decent job. I thought it was gonna be very, very tough.
Well, you dig enough dirt and you can...
Yeah, I'm sure it was tough to do.
Neither Tim nor I had anything to do with it, we just watched it happen.
Got it.
So, yeah, now it kind of so Tim retains all that, that's his new house lot. Here's the new market lot, incorporating that sliver's frontage back in, and then...
Tons of frontage.
And the driveway will probably come in
Yeah,
right here.
because this land, it's banking, and then that banking
Yeah,
just
there's a little
eases,
bit, yep.
it eases right off. It's across from one of the common driveways
Yep.
that pokes out
Yep.
from down the hill.
Is that where the new, that's literally where, yeah, obviously.
Well,
it's right there. More or
It
less.
still hasn't been designed.
It makes the most sense.
Right,
Yep.
that's where we're gonna head.
That's nice, I like that, because there's a crest of a hill right around here.
Right.
That makes sight lines pretty bad.
Yep.
That's actually pretty safe.
So it feels better to not be skewed,
Yeah,
safety
right,
wise.
right.
It's equally as steep right in here as it was over here. Maybe the banking's as high.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe even higher,
Sure.
so.
Hopefully
And this
the
is
house will be
this is
up
existing.
here, you know,
Okay.
be kind of hidden. This guy did a good job of concealing his house.
Yeah, he did, yep.
Yeah, that's a cart path that goes, just gone.
That's the path that's always been there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Seems fine to me.
Acreage is there, lot shape is there, frontage is more than there. I mean, it's more-
Yeah, and it doesn't make mine any more or less conforming, it just adds on a little piece of frontage.
John and I both grew up in town with the Holtorfs that owned all this land.
Yep.
And grew up in this house, and then Jerry built this house here, and it was their retirement plan to develop this land, and they gave it to us to take care of on our own, so,
Okay.
because we were neighbors, you know?
Okay. Yeah,
I get my raspberries back too.
So they're behind all of
I've been
this.
picking his raspberries for 5 years. They look like mine, but they're Tim's.
Questions, issues? Happy to hear a motion.
I'll move that we approve the proposed changes for 369 Old Bay with abandoning parcel A and creating parcel B and lot 3 as shown.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
And there's not a lot here, but I'm keeping it forever.
Okay.
Till I die, I hope.
There's enough land.
Famous last words.
Yeah, okay.
Everything's for
Until
sale.
the right, yeah, until the right price comes.
Right.
Good, I have to move my septic.
Till you
I'm not
win-
selling this.
Till you win that island off of Cozumel. In a card game.
It's really a great Bolton goodwill thing that happened here. Yeah, all good friends from growing up and
Neighbors.
the, yeah. And knowing.
Did you meet the people who bought that house or over the house?
Yeah, he's a nice guy, he's from Hudson.
Yeah,
So
it's,
relation to Dave Duran, it's gotta be.
it's gotta be, there's some distance.
So,
It's a Duran, yeah.
Dave Duran, is that the Durant Chevrolet guy or
No,
something?
it might be distant relatives.
Yeah, they're really distant, yeah, I already asked for it.
You know, the, Ariba Coffee in Hudson,
Yeah.
big Esplanade condo project that Kraft did with,
Okay.
With
Esplanade
Frias,
Concrete Frias.
with Frias.
Right across the street, that little condo strip. I mean, he's done many things. but
Just
that's
street?
what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Usually there's like 5 at least.
You reproduce that.
It's the Paperwork Act.
Well, you know, I'm gonna be, you know, I have to approve the house plans for this. You know, it's gotta be consistent with Bolton's architecture.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, plus I can see it big time, so. You don't need to vote.
Not too bad, though. It could've been a lot worse.
Busy with work. Pretty stressful.
Well, as Jerry thought, the only place with Burke was right around here.
It's not very stressful to get an engineer. Just go in, design some stuff and leave.
You have to worry about taking over tomorrow.
I know, all your evil plans and stuff. It's tough.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Do we keep one?
You guys
We
need
keep
this?
all the heart of the.
Yeah, we'll just,
Everything
we'll do it
about
I'll
it.
just do it.
All right.
So the Mylar
I'm
is
gonna-
that
I'm
your
gonna
copy
take
to keep for recording, and then I'll keep everything else.
Yeah, that's good.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Calvin.
I got it right here.
Thank you. Good night.
Close to 7:45. Want to talk about Tucker Cover?
Can we wait for
We
Jane?
can definitely wait, yeah.
Thank you.
Want to do the signature?
Yeah. Any admin stuff? Or we're gonna
For
take-
those minutes, actually.
Okay.
Do that.
Do we do the signatures?
Yeah, I think the majority of the board did. I'm still waiting on Danielle, but she wasn't able to come tonight, so here are the minutes.
Just sign the ones that, I don't know how far back they go.
I do have a question. Was anyone able to take meeting minutes while I was on maternity leave? No? Okay. Not a big deal. I'm just, I was that a
Yielded to the
joke?
Well, I guess, I'm on TV.
That was my excuse. That was my lazy excuse.
Well, looks like he has notes here, but I don't know.
What's that?
I said, looks like you have notes here, but I don't know that
Yeah, I usually don't.
anybody was
I'm
saying.
very bad at keeping them.
Oh, she went, just
I was on that.
Oh, okay.
We just initial it
Yeah.
top somewhere.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun tonight. Good time with this.
Yeah, he's coming in, huh? Oh, my goodness. Why do you guys think get this one? Did you get this one?
No?
Were you on that?
No.
June. Alright,
Yeah, well, reading that.
okay. So not finished.
Country Cupboard. Hello.
Hi
Good evening.
there.
How are you?
Good. We're back.
Come on up if you'd like to. A couple of seats.
Oh, boy, I don't think we've ever come up before.
Use the nice, use the nice.
Very nice
Nice to
to
the audience. Yeah.
Nice your seats.
I feel very high in these seats, which is a rarity.
Nice to meet you.
So, I think we're here because of the application that was submitted.
Okay.
Is that right? Did you get a copy of that?
You know, I did not give them a copy of the, so essentially, Jane came into the town hall looking for a business certificate for Dunkin' Donuts. To get the business certificate, they need to fill out a form of intent. It's just a simple form.
Yep.
It gives a brief description of what it is that they wanted to do. I knew back in July, we had a pretty in-depth conversation about fast food as an accessory use, so I thought it would be a good idea that she came before planning board and just explained it to you what she wanted to do.
Do you want to talk about it? Just the Reader's Digest version?
Simple. Just replace the coffee that we have with the Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
It would be in that corner.
Let me show the,
Yes.
I have a detailed layout, which I don't need to get into detail on it, but I have a layout. I have their existing merchandise or product layout, and with that, the square footage is, and
Okay.
then how we rearrange things to give Dunkin' Donuts basically what they're looking for. They had a couple of options that they submitted to us, and we've made one work, and puts coffee basically in the same place that it was, although it also then takes the pastries from over here and, the danishes from over there and putting all that square footage to one in one
Okay.
area.
Because we would be selling Danish and donuts and things like that, anything that competes with them to some degree.
Okay.
We wouldn't be selling, so we kind of exchanged that square footage for their square footage, including storage too. Storage is a big thing. The coffee, we have a lot allotted to storage, so
In the
please,
back.
yeah, please take that into consideration when
Okay.
you're talking square footage. And they need storage too. So they're not taking a lot of the store, they need storage because
Yeah.
the coffee cups are huge boxes.
Okay.
Well, which is what you're doing here. So I'll give you a quick tour of the store as it stands, and then I'll show you how it changes. When you come in these doors, you've got Subway stuff over here, and then the cash registers are here. Most of the sugar soup, that type stuff are these aisles. Then we have Tylenol, etc., and chips, beer, and then you get to beer and wine. The walk-in cooler, if anybody's ever gone in there, is in this area, and that would remain. There are lots of sodas in the back, ice cream, pizza. These are the doors to the bathrooms, but given the septic issue, the bathrooms are not open to the public at this time. The hope is that when the septic is all fixed, then the bathrooms can be open to the public again, which is her goal, because people ask for it.
Okay.
There are porta potties in the back.
Would those go away? That'd be the
I
idea?
think they would have to, you know.
Okay.
It would be-
So this is when you
what
build
we want to do.
470?
Yep.
You're gonna share a septic?
Yes, so that's
But
first.
it's not put in together. He said it's better not to put the whole system in, because as we build the new building, trucks would damage. So he'd rather do the country covered half, or it's actually 3/4, and then finish the other when we build the building, around the building.
2 separate systems?
It's a system that shares several features.
Okay.
And that feeds both pieces with easements and, you know.
Okay. That's what I was thinking about. Okay.
Yeah, and it took a while to get through the
I bet.
Board of Health. So we've got the cash registers, this is all coffee, coffee is here, and then some sandwich stuff, drinks, and donuts. There's some pastries here.
This is all today? like you said.
Existing,
Yep, yep.
today.
Yep.
Of course, if you go tomorrow, things might move a little bit. You don't get
It always
cases and
does.
stuff here and there, but this
We
is
got the
this is
idea.
today.
Yeah.
And if nobody has any questions, I'll
What is
go-
that upstairs?
Oh, thank you, sorry. So, there's a door here, it's never closed, it goes to the back. You can either go upstairs to their office, there's a shared office above here, or you can keep going to, this is a storage room that's almost completely coffee storage now, with a sink for washing the coffee carafes and such, and then a locked storage for the alcohol.
Okay.
The overflow alcohol, a little bit of that is underneath the stairs. That's the way out, and that's all she wrote for this.
Got it.
Oh, I'm sorry, and Subway's area, their back of house. Yep, so their counters here,
And then there's some storage back. Okay.
yeah, which I didn't touch. Not touch. Yep, all right, so if we pull that over a little bit. Now this is really a merchandise layout, so I didn't highlight it for you guys, but I can now. Dunkin' Donuts would take this. So that means that their counter gets smaller. They've got 2 registers here and here. Past this is really all coffee stuff.
Yeah, okay. That's the line of demarcation, more or less. You keep the registers, that's obviated. You don't need it anymore. Okay.
You got it. We don't need it anyway. They need the space. That keeps the cash register stuff near each other. That still allows the clerks here to see all the way to the corner of the store, which they were able to do before.
Okay. Mhm.
Right? That's why we've got this line
Yeah.
here. Their storage stuff, part of it, most of it will be here, but that gives us a wall. So where we had all that liquor and wine over here, we now are wrapping it here. Where the cooler is untouched, we're replacing coolers to get more shelves, because their coolers are older and only have 5 shelves, the new ones have 6, so we can get more stuff in if we replace the coolers. And then the wine stuff, where you guys all probably know as here, would move to this location. I mean, it doesn't,
No, it doesn't matter, but it
what I
gives us
should
an
do
idea.
is be quicker on this, because it doesn't matter where the things are going. The short answer is, we can get everything in here that they need. A few things come out, which they're okay with, the automotive stuff, because if there's a gas station behind them, chances are, if you need a quart of gas, pint.
Quart of oil.
Oil?
Quart of oil.
I'm not thinking straight. Then you go there. You're not gonna walk in here. So they still have the function that they need, and Duncan takes this stuff. That gives Duncan windows, which is probably a good idea. and allows for the safety and for eyes on all corners.
Is this a wall or a counter?
This would be a wall. This would be storage here. That's a counter, but this is a solid wall, which gives us that wall for the liquor.
Okay.
There's no doors in here, sorry. You're accessing this vis-a-vis, okay.
So like their food sandwich type stuff is prepared over here, so whatever, and this is like the bagel donut counter.
Yeah, I actually have their rough draft. I mean, nothing's finalized from them, but I have their layout. It's smaller and full of stuff, but they say that they can make this all work. So we have display cases for the donuts. This is where you come and order. The cash registers, displays for the donuts, and then all the stuff that they need to make the coffee, the culotta stuff, all that stuff. Here also, I think it'll probably have, if I was standing, it would have a height to here, right? This piece, you know how those new Dunkin' Donuts counters are. And then that's the way that they get in, and here you are kitchen storage, so they have their 3 sinks, their hand sink, all that stuff that they need, and I would assume that that's where the donuts are delivered and stored until then.
Stowbrook Gulf, the gas station on 117 in Stowe, same idea, right?
Yes.
In terms of the scale of it, the
Yeah,
size of it?
right,
Okay.
right, you got it. And so that takes out the pastries, anything that they would have sold there.
Okay, which is why you're able to still have A, B, C, and D,
Right.
but have D be the wine that used to be there.
Yeah. Where D was chips, we've moved chips over,
Got it.
And this is the plan that we expect to do, but I'm sure, don't hold me to every
No,
inch, because
no.
once we start doing it, some things work and some things don't work.
I think it's fair to say we benefit from the thorough explanation, yet our focus is,
Yes.
it's that. It's what does that look like? Is it this? Or
Yeah.
is it just this?
Right. And as it's working now, that's coffee, this is sandwich stuff, and then we lose a corner of the liquor. But it all rearranges pretty nicely. They had taken liberties in the chip aisle and a few other places,
Sure.
so I could find some savings there. And we actually wrapped a wall around towards the bathroom, so where there was not a wall, we thought, well, if we delineate the bathroom area with a wall, which is a nice thing to do anyway, then we have more walls for more coolers. So that's how I played that game.
Sure.
But the short answer is, they can still function and do what they needed to do, which was the exercise that I needed to do for Jane, to make sure that we weren't shooting her in the foot by giving Dunkin'
Sure.
Donuts that piece.
Can I ask a few questions?
Yes.
Hours, I think I know the answer to this, but hours of operation, will there ever be a time when Dunkin' Donuts is open but the store is not?
Yeah.
Okay. No change, I think I read this someplace, but no real changes to the exterior
Well, we would like to, we're not doing a
Not
thing.
this
as part of this,
Not this.
directly related to
No.
this? Okay.
Yeah, there'll be a sign change.
No
That's
drive-through.
selectment, obviously,
No,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, well, that was another one of my questions, and I think that is the answer, right?
That-
If there's
yes.
any signage that's Dunkin' Donuts signage, that's, Erica, that's not us and Selectmen, that's just
Just
Selectmen.
Selectmen.
We're not even talking about it, okay.
Although you can always refer it to the design review board, I believe.
Got it. Okay.
Well, no, the signs are purely selectmen.
You're right.
They might
You're
be able
right.
to refer, but
But
we're
I think
You're right about that.
We did look at it overall, like for cleanse things,
But
Through the
but
special
because we were
permit.
already, right, and
but-
we were already doing the building.
but you were lighting it and stuff, just as the overall kind of.
Yeah.
And, right,
I assume that'll be a wood-based sign.
well, it can't be internally lit.
Red.
Right, the sign would follow the requirements of the town.
So we spent a lot of time, and should we read that paragraph just for the benefit of viewers at home who weren't?
Town council, or which paragraph?
No, the,
Fast food?
yeah.
Oh, you
We
know what,
have
I don't think I
several times
understood
already.
it in here.
Not in there?
Oh,
Okay.
I have it. What do you
I
want?
saw it someplace.
What do you want? I've got it all.
It'd probably be
This is the one
definition.
line.
Oh, okay, here.
Because what, I mean,
Oh, you know what, I think council email.
so Mike
I'll
started
give you
to
one.
pretty much
His email.
kind of stepped aside. I think is this kind of, he kind of stepped aside and allowed us to make the decision where he could make the decision if it was accessory. it sounds like he kind of like.
Well, I think the intention is that the decision is made jointly.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
So, two criteria in order to allow fast food as an accessory use. The first one's kind of a funky one, and so in my mind, I really revert to the second one, because I think the first one can
Right, it doesn't make sense.
never not be met, quite frankly. Fast food is allowed as an accessory use to a primary use, as long as the accessory use, in this case, fast food, is 50% or less of the lot area. Well, the building is far
Makes no
less than
sense at
50% of the
all,
lot area. So that box just always gets checked.
Much discussed.
The other one, we look at the definition of fast food and accessory building or use provided in section 250-28 of the zoning bylaw. Per these definitions, the sale of, quote, prepared or rapidly prepared food must not occupy more than 50% of the lot, as you said, and must be, quote, wholly incidental and ancillary to a conventional restaurant or other principal use. In this case, my read is, this is wholly incidental and ancillary to another principal use, the other principal use being retail convenience store. In order to, I know there's a lot of conversation about this, to me, in order to determine whether it's ancillary, it's a little bit of qualitative interpretation and subjectivity. I don't think it's just a straightforward square footage divided by total square footage. I think there could be some case, this one's not a very tough one, but I think there could be some case where the square footage is 25 or 30% of the total square footage of the proposed fast food, but yet everybody is going there for that ancillary use. It's not ancillary anymore.
Yeah,
There's
I
some
agree.
subjectivity here where you say, this isn't country covered, this is Dunkin' Donuts with a little bit of a convenience function.
Right.
I think it's incumbent upon us, the board, to look at every one of these individually, to look at this one and say, does this still smell and taste like the country covered? What have we done? We have proposed to remove a non-branded, this is kind of all about branding here, a non-branded coffee counter with a branded Dunkin' Donuts coffee counter. Does the square footage and the design change? There's a couple of shifts. I mean, does the overall thing, do you have a sense, and I think I saw this written, but for the viewers, of what, I won't hold you to exact numbers, but what the existing coffee counter square footage was and what the proposed Dunkin' Donuts square footage might be?
It's very close. When I went and I measured as best I
Got it,
could,
yeah.
and it was around 425 to
Today.
440 today.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dunkin' Donuts is at 412 and a half.
It's the same numbers,
Today.
same
I
kind
think
of.
close. really.
What's the
So
total
the
GLA
numbers
building?
the numbers are in the
Got it.
breakdown.
Okay. What's the total square footage of the building? Rough.
32.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I would think that if you didn't have all the beer and wine and all that stuff, you'd start to lean towards it becoming a Dunkin'
I
Donuts.
think it's a conversation every time, right?
You could be right about that.
Yeah, but with the beer and wine, I think it remains a convenience store with a Dunkin' Donuts. If it was just like some sugar and,
Yeah, well,
Some Tylenol,
a rack is
that's
why I asked you
staples
that.
in
Too.
Dunkin' Donuts,
Yeah, right.
right?
This
Yeah.
could turn into Dunkies is open 7 days a week, and your counter for medicine is open Tuesday from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
That's the draconian example.
Right.
But I mean, it's within the spirit to kind of understand that. I think that being said, it's incumbent upon us, the board, to memorialize this. I think going back years and years and years, I don't think you have a real formal special permit. I think you predated all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's
But I think it's smart to memorialize our support, assuming we're supportive, I am, with some detail to effectively say, look, this is the idea as to the layout. There are not going to be different hours that these guys are open when these guys are shut down, stuff like that. Nothing more than what we talked about today, but I think it's smart to memorialize
I
that.
mean, so from the outside of the building, I mean, it's not really gonna appear like anything different. I think another concern with the fast food bylaw was like trash and stuff like that, but I don't know that, it's gonna be really, you get a cup of coffee from what's there, or you get a cup of coffee from.
I think that's
Dunkin' Donuts.
important, yeah, I
I don't
think
think
you're
it's
right.
any different. It's
Yep.
not like it's a,
It was there and it hasn't changed.
There'll be a larger volume of traffic coming to this.
That's another point. Yep.
yeah.
I think there might be. I mean, I think without a traffic study, it's pretty tough to determine for
Yeah.
sure whether there will be. But I think even then, it's kind of it's kind of a guess.
Does Dunkin' Donuts, you may not know this, do they have a predicted through the door number for
I
this
don't
type
know.
of facility? Like, I guess well, it would be similar to, I don't know.
Is this a like franchise? Are you working with an individual owner, or are you talking directly to the company for this?
No, it's an individual owner.
Okay. So it's somebody who franchises a Dunkin' Donuts and
I think, I understand we don't allow drive-throughs, but I think if this was a drive-through, yeah, there'd definitely be a traffic conversation that we'd be having here.
So does Dunkin' Donuts, you may not know this either, does Dunkin' Donuts have a say on where their franchises go, or can somebody, another
Go next
franchise,
door.
go next door?
Yeah.
That you've had that conversation.
Yeah, but I don't quite understand you mean, could one Dunkin' Donuts go next to another Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah, but I'm saying, does
They
Dunkin'
have
Donuts
a say.
say like, well, we have one on this block,
I don't
you know,
want
we don't need one across the street, you know, if you're gonna franchise down the road, do they have that kind of say, or is it just?
I think they do. It's
Sure.
corporate who has to,
Yeah,
agree to the franchise
Yeah.
store, franchisee who's doing it. They have to go through corporate too. And corporate isn't gonna put them on every
Right.
corner,
And
It's a separate
I think there's some,
Yeah.
they kind of carve off, areas that a franchisee buys effectively.
Well,
So you-
Territories, you mean?
Yeah, kind of a territory that, you've bought the, for, Berlin, Bolton, Stowe or something, and, you kind of control
Yeah.
those and, those towns or,
I see.
sort of thing.
well,
So-
I think this guy is familiar to you. He's been courting you for years.
I was gonna say, do you know this person?
Yes, he runs a great business.
Which other ones? I'm just curious.
He has one in Acton.
Okay.
He owns the one in Stowe.
The one I mentioned? Ah, okay, all right,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah.
That makes
and
sense.
So, I mean, he runs a good business, otherwise I wouldn't be considering
Yep.
putting him in. We have to do some updates on the store, but the cooler, for example, we're gonna have to replace that cooler. It's been there since we
walk-in.
opened, the walk-in. And we're just gonna put new doors and, beef it up inside because it just needs an overhaul.
Yep.
So, putting that in, we might have to change the flooring in that section because they're gonna have to rip up the rug where the wine room is, there's a rug. But other than that, not many major things done. And we do have a really good coffee business, so I think that, they might do more, but they're happy to get what we have. We haven't wanted to do it. And like I said, the only reason that we're considering it is because,
Defensively, yeah.
yes.
So, I mean, what do they, like, lease space from you? Is that kind of how it works?
They just pay rent.
Yeah, that's right.
Has the Board of Health chimed in on this yet?
They'll have to.
Well, I mean, does the, I know when Subway went in, we made you guys go and verify and get numbers for other,
But that's because we
But
weren't, we
you weren't
weren't
doing-
in
yeah.
public water supply.
so the question, so they may, Board of Health may want that same sort of, kind of a guesstimate on what you're using for water and such now versus
It
what?
won't be an issue though because of the septic, the new septic.
Okay, yeah.
They'll take care of
And
it.
that may be, but they may still wanna, they may wanna make sure the new septic is in before they sign off on this opening or something, just.
I wouldn't put it in without it.
But,
Yeah,
But,
because,
you should definitely run it past them though.
Yeah, well, this is the
Once-
first
yeah.
hurdle.
What would the time frame be for this?
Well, we talked to the septic people who we have proposed to install the system, and he said 6 to 10 weeks trying to get it in before December, something like that. And then whenever we can get it done. I
So-
mean, we don't really have a definitive time.
Do you want to do that before, when are you going to start building the new one?
Oh, I'm
Okay.
gonna complete this
This
first.
is first, this is
Yeah.
primary.
This is the
Okay.
big question mark.
Got it,
Yeah.
got it.
This put the brakes on the other one.
Oh, good point.
just
Yeah,
because-
you probably was that. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. Okay, okay.
You have to have the septic done, was that part of the deal, like, for Dunkin' Donuts, they wanted a
No.
bathroom?
You just
No.
want to do it.
You just want to do
We
it?
were planning on doing it.
Okay.
We'll just make sure, I got someone who does Dunkin' Donuts places with convenience stores so that I
Okay,
know
okay,
that
okay.
it will be done right this time.
Because she's put in several septic
Yeah.
systems.
Okay.
They have a
Okay.
very short life the way they were sized and designed before.
Tough
so,
land or bad execution? Bad design?
Hard to say, but I think under-designed
Okay.
for what was going in, and they have been keeping really good records since the last one was put in part, so she knows, when the next one goes in, I know exactly what we're.
So is that entire building have an issue then? All the tenants?
It's all one, so.
Yeah, it's all one.
We don't have an issue, it's just that we have an influx of people at a
Right.
certain time. Or
Yeah.
Sunday afternoons when
Right.
bus loads come in and want to use the bathroom.
Right.
And the gas
So it's
station.
fine for employees, but not for...
Yeah, they just avoided you
Yeah.
opening it
Right.
up to
Right.
the public.
Yeah, I gotcha.
That's the mitigant.
We've had to, so.
Yep.
And we let some people use it because,
Looked like an emergency.
yeah.
It's in everybody's best interest. Okay. Anybody have any other thoughts? This isn't a vote, Erica, this is just a discussion and indication of our support.
I think we
You
vote
can
our
take a
support.
vote if you'd like, it's really up to the board.
Okay.
Was there anything on that?
Folks in the audience have any comments?
I just wanted to come down, and I'm a resident of Bolton. I live on 81 Oak Trail in Kristen, Carolina, and I just wanted to let the board know that I'm in support of this endeavor.
Thank you.
I think it'd be great for the town.
Thank you.
I may drink more coffee from the country cupboard than any other member.
I'm just stakeholder.
I'm in support either way.
We do have good coffee.
I did see a couple
You
of
do, it's I like it better than Dunkin's, but,
I saw a couple of comments that
That's okay.
Facebook that they would get your coffee, yeah.
It's outside.
So, would you make a motion to
Sure.
accept it? No, I'll do it. so.
To be in support of it.
Yeah, so I guess I'll make a motion to be in support of a Dunkin' Donuts in the country cupboard being considered an accessory to the primary use.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So now, you would draft, what did you say, a description of, or a kind of a narrative of this situation? Is that what you had said?
Yeah, I think so. I think just something to memorialize under what conditions we're
That's a
supported.
great idea.
I think it benefits you guys as much as anybody else.
Yeah, that's a great
I
idea.
think, and probably this coming town meeting, we're gonna look at the whole thing and clean it up, the table of uses and everything. I would assume.
We'll have a conversation.
Yeah.
I offer to help. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Are we the last on the
Nope.
docket?
Two more.
Wishful thinking.
Had a schedule though.
Ah, well, that's good. It's a first, right?
Sometimes we're sweet.
Yeah, so Mike will sign it and then
We try to.
should be as required. Usually when I'm in your schedule, I chat.
So what else is going on in town? Anything you can talk of here?
It takes me every muscle in my body not to say, or yay. I'm just so used to it. Say anything. Well,
You have the pulse of the town.
I can talk about the golden bee.
Thank you all very
My
much.
wife is here. I have nothing.
Yeah.
I got invited to the soft opening, but I love Christmas. She said, best Christmas sandwiches.
Yeah, he asked me to come down on Monday, but it doesn't work, so.
Well, that's what this weekend's for,
Yeah.
right?
Cool.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you. Fred, Andy, a little bit early, but do you want to start? Sure. Welcome up.
We missed, Andy, we missed you. Where you been?
Working.
Working.
That's all I do.
It's
good to be here. Thank you.
What's up? Affordable and road covenant.
Yeah. That's what's up.
How can we help you?
Well, we wanted to come in and talk about the green and the appraiser. Because if I went back to him and came back to you and went back to him, it was gonna take a while.
So,
I'd do that.
During the the approval process, not that it was I don't think it was ever memorialized. If I recall correctly, it was I think what was discussed was that you would pick an appraiser and I would pick an appraiser. And in other words, we were gonna try to agree.
Yep.
And if we couldn't agree,
Yep.
then you would pick an appraiser and I would pick one, and those two appraisers would pick a third.
Really?
That's what I believe was bantered about anyway. I think, thought it was memorialized actually, but.
So we spent some time looking at it. It effectively says, upon 20, 40, and 60 lots,
Yep.
you choose, it's in your favor quite a bit. You choose a lot, donate the lot. Or, if the board is okay, and I think we took a vote last time and said we are okay, if you wanted to elect instead to do money in lieu of, you pick a lot again. It's not a hypothetical lot value. You pick a lot again. That lot is appraised, and money in lieu of, based on the appraised value, is paid. It talks about appraisal acceptable to both parties.
Right.
Even with the best of intentions, there's skepticism of conflicts of interest in any event, right? With any developer, with any town. That's how it works.
Just, yeah.
It's why I came up with the solution a month or so ago. You pick one, whomever you would like, as long as they're a qualified appraiser. We pick one, both get engaged, the two values get averaged, that's your value. We found three, and the magic to the ones that we found was simply twofold. Number one, if we've ever done this before as a town, and we've used an appraiser, then we've got experience knowing that somebody is out there and can get the job done. Let's just use them again. Number two, if we cannot find one, then let's go out to Erica's peers and ask other towns similar exercise. Have you done this before? Can you give us some names? We found three. Three were interested in doing it. They understand the assignment. I think if I had to guess, two of them looked at the nuance to the assignment of without infrastructure improvements. That's kind of funky. It is what it is, but it's kind of funky. And I think they looked at that and said, there's more homework to be done. It's a cost approach to value. It's not just a simple sales approach to value. And they charge $3,500 and $3,000 respectively. I looked at those two amounts, and it's not us paying, but we don't need to gouge you for a huge amount. Those are big numbers.
Who's supposed to pay? I don't think it's specified.
It does not specify.
It is not specified.
Say it again?
It's not specified.
It doesn't say, okay. A third one
Unless
was,
we want to try to agree.
I think it's tough to, you know, because I'm always gonna think you're gonna have a conflict of interest, and you're always
Well,
gonna think I'm gonna have. Even with best
I can
intentions.
give you some background if, for whatever it's worth. We did sell, recently,
Yeah,
5 lots for $212.
with, obviously,
With the
with
road.
improvements, yeah.
I also sold 17 lots early on, unimproved, for $140.
That's about what I figured it would go for, 150, 160, 140.
You know, and one of the buyers who bought 6 lots in that 17
Yep,
actually got an enhanced deal because they got the right to supply lumber to the project.
okay.
So,
Meaning they didn't have to go through you.
no, it's the my lumber supplier
Oh.
got an
Oh.
He got a,
Okay,
in
exclusive
addition,
agreement with you to
for
do lumber
paying,
for the
in
rest of
addition
the
to paying $140, he picked up about $20 million worth of business.
Got it.
So, and actually, it might have been 135, but
Okay,
it's in that area, 135 or 140 or whatever it was.
okay.
So, now,
So in theory, it's probably mid to high ones. We don't know, we're not appraisers, but that's a pretty good guess.
well, from my thinking, it can't be higher than 140, because we sold 17 of them unimproved for that price.
Right. And this is
I mean, and that makes sort of sense if you're familiar at all with road costs, that, you know, if something just sold for 212,
Yep.
that's like $70,000 there difference. That's what it is for a road today.
Yep.
If somebody said to me, what's a road cost, I'd say around $60,000 a lot, approximately. Now,
I don't really disagree with your numbers.
I'm just,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that's what an appraisal would tell us. Do you object to doing an appraisal? Why not just do it?
I'm happy to hire an appraiser.
Yep.
And if you want to hire an appraiser to give you some guidance maybe, but to agree what average,
Yep.
I don't want to pre-agree, because I don't know if the guy could come back and say, yeah, they're worth 300.
I'm taking the same risk though.
Well, except that it's
You're choosing a lot.
really my money. You're, you know, I mean, this,
Well, no, it's not. It's the town's money.
well, no, but I mean.
It's both of ours.
You're
Both
receiving,
of us.
I'm on the paying end,
Yeah,
you're on the
I'm on the
receiving.
receiving.
Right.
So it's important to both of us. I think.
I don't think equally, no. But, so I don't think I would up front agree to, I think if you had it done, we'd probably be able to agree. Because but like, you know, like Coleman, the guy that I suggested, he is a sophisticated appraiser. There's a difference between somebody who can appraise a single-family house
Yep.
and this appraisal.
Okay.
There is a difference. It's
No, I'm well aware.
I mean, there's different people that are more sophisticated at appraisals.
Our
Like if
incentive
you were getting a divorce,
No,
for
I get
example.
it. Well, that's a great example. If
And-
you're getting a divorce, that's how you do it. You'd each engage an appraiser and
Right.
you'd average the two.
But like if you were getting a divorce.
Yep.
Like I got divorced
Yep.
7 or 8 years ago. All my properties that I own, except for Bolton, I have a partner, my brother,
Yep.
because we were partners for many years. Well, that means I don't have a controlling interest in the properties. So there's a huge discount when you don't have a controlling interest.
Yep.
I think it's in the magnitude of almost 50%. But it's pretty much a standard
Yeah, but that's not
percentage.
that's not the premise of the appraisal. It would be a fee simple value
But
of a
here,
single lot minus the road.
if I selected a lot like in one,
Yep.
theoretically, what would somebody pay for a lot in a phase where the road's not in? They never could afford to build the road themselves,
Yep.
so there'd be a huge risk in buying one lot,
Yep.
for example. I don't know what things the appraiser, I've been in real estate my whole life, so I know that there is things to consider, but I'm not saying I'm not an appraiser, but,
I think that's exactly why we get an appraisal to
you know,
do
but
it.
if you just, so I'm comfortable, like, I know this appraiser is a sophisticated, high-level appraisal, and we handed in his,
His credentials.
biography, whatever you call it. I mean, he's done a lot of, he's a big appraiser.
Okay,
He's not just a house appraiser.
sure.
So you have to, anyway.
I don't feel comfortable using just yours.
I'm not
If you
suggesting
won't
that.
feel comfortable using just
Right,
mine.
I'm not suggesting,
I
I'm
think
just
the
saying.
only solution is, we each do one. And we were willing to say,
I mean,
here's
if we're within, shouting distance, hopefully we'll just both make a deal and be done with it.
Okay. Do you want to do that then? You guys pick one of
think it-
ours, you pick yours, whomever it is.
I'm happy to do that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I also wanted to, make sure the board was aware that this deeding of a lot, to the town,
Yeah.
this did not fall under the affordable program
Right.
that you have now. I think where, like, if somebody does development and it's more than a certain number of lots that the town has built into their bylaw, that I think you get a certain number of units.
Okay.
Of
This
affordable.
was a specific to this project, just agreement, right?
This was something I donated
Yep.
voluntarily.
Well, I mean, we do have, I mean, Eric could give the details, but I know there's other developments that have the same issue right now.
No,
Yeah.
the other developments were required
Right.
to do it
Yeah.
because you have a bylaw in
Right.
place
I see the nuance.
that was
Yeah.
not in our, that was not in place
By the time
when we
you
did
yours,
it.
yeah.
When I did mine, this was voluntary. There's a big difference. For
I mean, I
example,
don't know the history, but it might have been part of the negotiations
Of
for
course
the
it
entire
was,
deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't voluntary, I'm sure it was.
It was outside, we're parsing
Well,
words,
I
but
also-
it was outside of our town's rules and regulations. I can appreciate
Yeah.
that. But it was part of the negotiation of the special permit.
You also know, for example, that I donated 40 acres more than was required in open space. So I think it's an important nuance. And for example, you know, I committed to a significant gift to Tufts University, but I don't know how many years ago, 10 years ago or 8 years ago. It was a $250,000 gift. And I funded it except for 50 grand over a certain number of years. That was my agreement. But having been tight for cash now, I haven't been able to fund the last 50. They don't send a collection agent to somebody when it's a voluntary donation.
This is a little different though. This is a subdivision project. That was a charitable donation.
I think if you look at the paperwork, it is
Okay.
called a donation.
Well, I can appreciate that. At the end of the day,
At the end of, I mean,
there's an agreement in there. We'll appraise it, we'll get it done, we'll move on. It's not a big issue, right?
well, we'll get the numbers settled and we will end up probably writing a check. Because theoretically, any lot is going to have a road in front of it eventually. So even though the value is based on an unimproved lot, which, by the way, is an obvious difference from the bylaw now, because it's not an unimproved lot.
I don't follow.
Well, currently, I believe, Erica, correct me if I'm wrong, if somebody does a development now in town, they have to donate something.
They do, we have an inclusionary zoning bylaw.
Like, what is it, over 9 lots or something?
Oh, yeah, 8.
8.
Yeah.
So you have a bylaw in place now. It was not in place when I did this. And for example, the 100 acres was not a negotiated item. When I came to the town, we offered 100 acres prior to doing anything. Just for the background. That's the background. And so it wasn't.
Frostburg was around when you were there.
Yes.
I mean,
But he
You didn't-
donated above and beyond the 30%. He's
Okay.
donating more, closer to 50%. It is beautiful,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful open space.
I mean, we only needed to donate, is it
30%, so whatever that is,
30% of
yeah.
200 was 60 acres.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
I had met with Rose Stanley, chairman of the Conservation Commission in Bolton for many years, and that was a big thing to her. And so I, said, we'll do that.
So we provided 3 names. Do you want to pick the cheaper of the 3? Do you want to take time and look
I
at
don't
it?
know if I'm paying for it. I don't know, I mean, why I'm paying for it. It doesn't say I'm supposed to pay for it.
It does not say you're supposed to pay for it.
I mean, I think you should. I don't know. I mean, I can think about it, but I don't know why I would be paying for it. I mean, I'll pay for mine.
Yep.
I think if you're getting, going back to my divorce example, you each pay your own lawyers, and you pay your own stuff. I don't pay for your lawyer in the town. I don't do it.
No.
Not directly.
So, not for town council, no. Planning board does have a purchase of services account that we could use that money from,
Okay.
to pay for an appraisal.
And you are gonna be receiving a lot of money here, significant amount.
Okay.
I mean, what we could do too is just engage the one appraiser that came in at 500, get an appraisal done. Andy doesn't have to do anything at this point, and then come back to the table, see what she appraises it at. If you agree, the board agrees, then we can just use that number.
That's a smart idea.
Why
I
not
mean,
do that?
if
It
you
doesn't get you pregnant. It does not get you pregnant.
what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't understand.
You're not signing up for the number. You're not locked into the number. You're
Wow,
stuck with
I mean, I think that,
Here's expressions.
you know,
I say that all the time.
I like it. First I heard it.
Sorry. You'll use it again.
and I suppose I'm gonna have to designate a lot for them. to
That is your
appraise.
choice.
Yeah, no, obviously
Yes.
then we'll have to get.
Very liberal of us, but that is the agreement and we stand by it.
See, I don't, it's a nuance, but it was a donation. That's why you're looking at it saying, geez, the language is in his favor, maybe. But it's
I don't
because,
have any problem with the language. I'm just observing that it's well negotiated language.
because I think it was something I didn't have to do.
Well, but you did agree to it, we need to agree on the value.
That's why I don't want
and
to
we
make a
need
mess
move
forward. Yep.
So, I mean,
Pretty easy issue.
yeah, I mean, I guess, the only question really would be whether we want to look at handling all three lots at the same time, get the appraisals and then you can, get the appraisal, we agree on the numbers now, and then when those lot numbers come up, you would, make a payment.
I don't know if I'm okay with that.
Okay, I'm just,
It is a nuance, yeah.
yeah, it is a, because otherwise, when we come to, if when we get to lot 40 or 60, if things come to a grinding halt while we go through the stance again, it may be, just looking at, can we just streamline it and, for Andy as well as for us, so we don't have to.
Well, if we agree on a procedure moving forward,
Yeah.
you shouldn't hit a,
The whole
That's right,
wall,
yeah.
maybe we'll both agree on the same number the next time, I don't know.
That's fine.
I don't know. I
Should we
mean,
take a vote?
I think you'll probably get charged 3 times, even if you do one-on-one lot.
Although the woman with the $500 appraisal said she'd cut us a discount. It's
Yeah.
fair. $500 is pretty cheap.
Well, yeah, sometimes you get what you pay for.
Yes, you do. You always get what you pay for.
So I don't know if using the person for $500 is the best bet, because
Well,
I'm
we're-
gonna be using probably this guy Coleman,
Yep.
who's very sophisticated.
Okay. We were willing, and I think we still are willing, to let you choose among those three.
Which 3?
So you choose Coleman, and then we didn't just have one. We found three.
Yeah.
What's it?
Do you mind if I take a sip of this?
You go
I
now.
don't need any.
So what should we vote on?
Yeah, what are we voting on?
Well, have we made a determination of how we're gonna proceed?
I think we will proceed
We're kind of going back
as,
and forth.
well, I guess it's up to you. We can either say, you engage yours, engage ours, the values come in, we average them, or we engage ours, the value comes in, and we talk. I mean, if you want to get it done sooner rather than later, if timing is your issue, or if managing that number at the end of the day is more important to you.
Well, I don't, I'm happy to start paying money in if you want towards it as good faith. To hold up.
We don't need that.
To put, to hold up certificates of occupancy on people and me, what does that do? Why am I being punished for something?
It's not punishment, it's the rule, I'm just trying, this is a very simple item. This is not
No, I know.
heavily negotiated.
But I mean-
This is what the language says, so let's just appraise it, pay it, and be done with it, right?
Well, I got some, like, for example, houses have been coming up that have been done.
I mean, we can vote on contingencies right now, like you said, get the 2 numbers out.
But
I
I think we'll work it out.
I do too, yeah, I don't think it'll be tough.
I mean, we have a house, we have houses that are under construction.
If you think the value is 140, and you want to put 140 up with us pending our finalization of that, I'm fine with that.
I'll probably have an appraiser. I mean, I could wait to see what your number is before I spend the money. I mean, I have a pretty good idea what I think, but if, you know, it's reasonable, I mean, I'm not inflexible. I don't think I don't wanna like get into an argument over, 10 grand. I mean, that's not what I wanna do. No.
You give us,
Planning board?
give us direction. Do you want us to engage our guy now?
I think you need to, because I'm private, I can make my own decisions, but you're the town, you probably need to sort of have like something.
Yep, okay. Make a motion to engage our appraisal, the job value.
And then what, then we're coming back to the next meeting to talk?
I guess, yeah. We'll deliver the number to Andy.
Do you want me to, I'm sorry, do you want me to check with my appraiser to see if he thinks any of the three are more better than any of the other ones?
Like I said, it's your choice. So we found 3 that were acceptable.
I mean,
They posed them to Fred and said, pick one.
So, we're making a motion to, this is a motion to do our appraisal, give him the number, if he accepts it, then fine, he's gonna pay the amount, or just, we're gonna talk about it next meeting.
It's up to you, Andy.
If our appraiser comes with a number and you're happy with it, and you just wanna pay it, you don't want us just to like, approve something on contingent that you pay that number, like, I'm just trying to wonder how exactly you want this worded.
And which appraiser are we going with?
One of the 3 that we choose.
I think we just make a motion to get the appraisal done.
Yeah, okay.
To get our appraisal
Complicate our appraisal done.
End of story.
End of story.
And can you just give me a direction on which appraiser you want to go with?
So there were 3, they sent us their qualifications, they sent us their turnaround times. Turnaround times and qualifications were pretty standard. These are qualified USPAP appraisers. One charges $3,500, one charges $3,000, one charges $500.
Get somebody to charge $500 and do anything.
It's probably just a standard residential appraisal, when the other 2 are gonna say, comparable lots are going for, as Andy said, 220, but there's a nuance here. We have to make a hypothetical assumption that the roadway and the utilities are not connected. So they have to talk about the cost to develop roadways, how much a linear foot, blah, 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 do the math.
They also, I mean, there's other things that somebody could take into consideration,
Sure.
which is like the time of holding it, those types of,
Sure.
I mean, I've been involved in this project for 20 years. There are costs, but
So to Andy's point, you kind of get what you pay for. The $500 one is probably going to be an appraisal of a typical lot in a subdivision like this in Bolton with a very broad brush discount to that value for what he or she thinks it's going to cost to put in a road and utilities. They'll look at standards and they'll say roads are $125 a linear foot. It's the distance to the lot, multiply it out, subtract it from it, and it'll be very, very simple. The other one will really take into account, in theory, the cost to develop the entire subdivision's infrastructure, divided by the number of lots, do some math like that.
I mean, this is your field, I stand by which one you pick.
I don't think it's terribly complicated. I think Andy's right. I think you get what you pay for. I didn't see a big difference between the $3,500 qualification. I didn't see a big difference between the 3 qualifications, but the price is probably a little bit telling, so.
How much money is in the account that you mentioned?
That's the other issue. If we go with the more expensive appraiser, I do not have money to cover that. We have enough to do the $500. If it's $3,000, $3,500, we're gonna have to think outside the box how to pay for
Just do
that.
500.
Should this be coming out of our budget or out of Affordable Housing's budget, since this is money for them?
I think we could have a conversation with them. I mean, the reality is significant revenues come into them. Do they want to invest the money to get a competent valuation?
That's a good point.
And what,
Yeah.
60 grand more,
Yeah.
20 grand, whatever the case is, get an accurate number instead of.
I can reach out to the trust and see what they wanna do.
Okay.
How about,
yeah.
do we wanna go that direction then, have them pick the appraiser?
They can certainly provide input to us, yeah.
Okay.
So then, in the motion, we'll say that the affordable housing will pick the appraiser.
We'll
I
consult with
think
them.
us in conjunction with.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I think we'll consult with them to review the qualifications of the 3 appraisers that we've found, and we will move swiftly to engage and pay for our own appraiser, period.
Do you mind if I speak?
Let's wrap this up, let me talk about the road.
Well, the only reason, but this is pertinent to your vote.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think there is any agreement between the Bolton Affordable Housing Partnership and, in other words, I think, I'm not sure, but I think the documents talk about the planning board.
So I think they probably talk about the town, but we will consult with them and we will make the decision.
All right, 'cause
We are dealing with you, you don't have to deal with them.
I just don't want it to get like a...
Yep, I understand that.
All right, so make a motion to engage the appraiser, the appraiser approved upon by the planning board and the Affordable Housing Trust, to approve a lot at Century Mill Estates choosing, to determine the payment in lieu of for the affordable housing.
Seconded.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Did you get everything on that?
So I think last meeting you indicated lot 20?
Yeah, that's the other
Sure.
point.
I said there were,
Okay.
if it was on that side, maybe lot 20, I didn't know. I
That's
had
it,
talked to
that's
somebody.
We can have a conversation with Affordable Trust without any delay, but before engaging anything, you guys gotta get back to us, give us a lot number.
I didn't know which side of the development we'd even be talking about.
Okay.
So we'll do that?
It doesn't say in the language, so
Yeah.
it's your choice.
So we'll do that. If you want to take that number, fine. If not, then you go get yours and then, I don't know, what we
We'll take it from there, but that's
Yeah.
the idea. Yeah, you get yours and we averages over.
If you feel like we're moving along here in good faith, Fred told me you weren't going to issue any more COs.
I think we're gonna live by this language, yeah. Like I said, if you wanna put some money up, just keep the process moving, that's smart, I have no problem with that. I don't wanna hold the project up, I also don't wanna delay this. I wanna get this-
I'm not looking to...
And in fact, so 20 is where we stopped the clock, but as you know, we stopped it at 21.
They should.
I mean, do you have closings coming up in the next 2 weeks?
We have one, we have a CO that'll be issued in a couple weeks.
Before the 28th?
Of this month?
Yeah.
I mean, remember, this is presumably a 30-day, at least turnaround, at least that's the language in one of the RFPs.
30 days.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, do we want to come up with a number, you know, to get them to 22 or 23 or something like that?
I think I did, right? If we've got a rough idea that the value is 140 grand, and you want to put that up with the town, I'm sure we can draw up a simple agreement that says this is what this is.
Just saying, put
about.
all of it up, or just put,
Why not?
or you just, well, I don't know, I'm asking you, just, or
Yeah,
just
that's
put
what I'm
up,
saying.
put up if we're saying getting to 24.
If we think it's gonna be 100, we don't need to make this as complicated as we're doing.
Okay.
Right?
And then if it's less, then it's a
We're
refund.
leaving it out. If it's less than, if it's more than, I've got 5 minutes until the next week's business, so we should talk about the roads.
Okay. One other thing I would like to...
Okay, we've got 5 minutes.
So it's a very simple thing.
Yep.
The town is supposed to accept the deed to the 100 acres. We gave the deed like 2 or 3 years ago to the town, signed. And hasn't done it yet.
Is this us, Erica?
It's partly planning board and it's
Okay.
conservation as well.
Continue.
Okay. So, I'd like the town to get on the ball here and take the deed, because I keep getting tax bills, and I don't want to pay taxes on land that has no value to me.
I'm ignorant to this point.
I agree with Andy, I would like to see the, the land.
What's the
be given
holdup?
to the town. The holdup, at least, when Carol Gumbart was here, and we were talking about this, Bolton Conservation Trust is actually going to be owning the property,
Yeah.
not the town.
Yep.
There was language in the deed for the conservation restriction on the property that stated that the developer basically had rights to the property in perpetuity. And I think that was where there was a disagreement.
Can I?
Yeah.
Before we get too far up, is this really us then, or is this conservation?
It is planning board because it does fall under the phosphorus. If you take a look at that decision,
Yep.
the way that it's tied to planning board, it just basically states that the developer needs to transfer the ownership of the property based on, once we get to 75% of the COs being issued, or when the top coat goes down on the road, whenever one of those two items happen. That's for planning board. I don't know about conservation.
But that's not Andy's issue.
Conservation.
No, I know it's not, but I'm just kind of giving background.
It's a little irksome because when Carol Dunbar was here, she actually refused to issue building permits because we had not donated the land. And it took, the delay in donating the land initially was that the conservation restriction, which had to get approved by the selectmen, the planning board, Concom, DEP, Natural Heritage, and the state legislature, basically, took 2 years to get done. I mean, it was, and everybody signed it. Planning board, the Concom, state legislature, DEP, and Natural Heritage, and God knows who else, and the selectmen. It's all signed. That document, which was obviously reviewed by all those people, was signed, and it laid out exactly what was supposed to happen. It took 2 years to get it done. And then Carol was upset that we actually, took a long time to get it done. And refused to issue building permits, met numerous times. And anyway, then it got done, and the town didn't know how they wanted to accept the deed, who was going to be the owner and who was going to hold the conservation restriction. There's a restriction on the land. And by the way, that went on a long time ago, so there's nothing can happen to this land. Because there's a...
Partly because, excuse me, sorry, partly because we didn't know at the time that the town can't hold the restriction and own the property at the same time. It has to be two different.
Yeah, that's where the conservation trust comes in.
That's where the conservation trust comes in.
It was known because...
It was not.
It was.
Okay,
During that 2 years, the town had its town council involved in reviewing, see, because the conservation restriction,
Does the history matter? I mean, where are we?
No,
well,
If there's a request of us, I'm all ears.
Well-
But if it's a gripe against the Concom,
No.
talk to them. Why are you talking to me about it?
well, because I'm sort of getting penalized here for not donating
You're not getting penalized at all.
money. Well, I'm getting
You're feeling
penalized.
very persecuted. Stop it.
Okay.
Okay, this is a rule in the permit, and I'm just trying to follow it.
But you're holding-
This is entirely
You're
objective.
holding up.
Because you haven't paid the money.
Okay.
That's the only reason.
Where, if you're going to be like, if you're, the standard of legality in a document is, if you're gonna be timely, if time is of the essence, that clause, you can't not be timely someplace else.
You're not being timely.
You're 2 years overdue here, 3 years overdue in accepting this deed, that's my complaint.
You're one permit overdue
I
on
understand.
paying the in lieu of. And that's the only thing I'm looking at.
Okay, but I wanna get rid of this land because I'm paying
I
taxes
feel your
on it.
pain. I totally feel your pain.
It's-
But it's a totally separate issue.
I agree, it's a separate issue.
it's a separate
Then
issue.
we shouldn't be
It's
talking
not on the agenda.
Well, somebody's gonna take care of it.
Andy, we are trying to move forward with it. I did recently just meet with the Bolton Conservation Trust, so this will get figured
Now,
out.
the way the conservation restriction was written is, and the approvals, the way they were written, are the same. And that is that the wells are in the open space, which is part of the 100 acres, and I have an easement, or whoever owns the wells, which may be the association, is gonna have an easement.
Right.
Carol Gumbart came up with this idea, well, gee, we don't want you to have an easement. We want to have less than 100 acres, and you to own the land where the wells are.
Right.
I'm not willing to do that. I want it the way it was originally agreed to.
Okay, that I'm not.
Because I don't want to pay
understand that.
taxes, right, on land. Why would I, if I would end up paying taxes for the wells, right? When the agreement was, it was gonna be by easement. So why would I agree?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Right, why do I want to agree all of a sudden?
Is there anything to do about this?
No, absolutely
I
not.
mean,
That's why I'm
you know what I mean?
But there's nothing I can do about it. I agree, I would be kind of irked if I were you.
It sounds like.
But
She originally came
What
to
can
me
I
and
do?
said, can we get a walking trail
Yeah,
through
listen.
there's a zone 1 around these wells.
Planning
I
is
said,
pushing.
sure, I'm happy to do
You're
it.
talking to Conservation Trust?
Yeah, not about that issue, but we
Oh.
can certainly offline at another time, we can talk to the, we can talk
There's
about.
nothing we can do about it, it sounds like, right?
Why?
I mean, it's
It's
not.
an agreement with the planning board.
I mean,
It's not on the agenda tonight.
No, I know that. I'm
And
just trying to cross.
honestly, I haven't prepped myself to talk about the open space, nor does the board know that much
Okay,
about it
yeah,
as well,
anyway.
so.
I don't know. I'd like to get it resolved because
I
I
thought it was with Conservation Committee.
keep getting these tax bills and it's just, and I pay them.
It sounds like something that's signed off by, if I've got this right, something that's signed off by all pertinent boards,
Yeah.
but stymied by Concom.
It's been,
Not my
it's been
issue.
spearheaded by Concom,
Right?
but planning board can weigh in and we can get it resolved, it's just tonight, it's,
Yeah, I understand, I agree.
Then get it on the next agenda.
All right, well, thank you. I think we came to a good point.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
so at the next meeting, we'll talk about completion of roads.
Sorry
We'll
for
get
getting
to-
cross feeling persecuted. I apologize.
You need to take a deep breath. Not everybody's out to get you.
Thank you for reminding me.
He is.
All right, thank you. And are we excused?
Absolutely.
You guys want to push the other topic to the next meeting instead?
I would enjoy it.
All right. We'll be here. With Bella.
See you guys.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Brian.
Have a good night, everybody.
All right.
Hello. Sorry you had to witness that.
So this is Natalie Gabrielle. I reached out to her because she had expressed interest in the design review board, and we are currently looking for a member, so I thought she could come tonight and speak to the board about joining, so.
Excellent.
I don't know much about design review boards,
Okay.
but I'm a resident of about 4 years and looking to get involved. And that was an area that is expertise, because I'm an architect. And also have urban design graduate degree. So yeah, that's something I'm interested in. I don't know if there's anything you need to know about me. I have 10 years experience in architecture and planning.
Okay.
Working in Boston and Cambridge. Yeah, and I lived in Bolton for about 4 years. Century Mill Road, so I know Century Mill Estates, because I know very well.
Excellent.
Very close to my house, actually behind.
Oh, so you know him.
I don't know him personally, no. I've driven through, yeah. I've driven through the subdivision.
It'll be done in about 25 years.
Yeah, I've like, we'll be here in the construction for a long time, but I'm used to being around construction sites, so I understand how it works.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the nuances of the board, what the board does, the design review board?
Oh, I get that. And so, and you guys correct me if I'm
Yep.
going, but basically, the design review board is to give us guidance on things that we're not, certainly not experts on, as far as architectural decisions and styles and making sure that the buildings tie in with the community. When the proposed assisted living came in, the initial report from the design review board talked about, this part of the structure has, this kind of, architectural styles, and this other part uses things from here, and this other, and, this is kind of identified kind of the mishmash of styles that were all kind of part of that building, and kind of suggestions on how to clean that up to make it more cohesive and more, a cleaner style. And I think what they came back with was significantly better than what was in the first time. So it's that sort of thing is a lot of what the kind of guidance the design review board would be giving. I know there's been some discussion about having the design review board kind of do some reviews on the architectural plans for the renovations on the front of this building.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you watch selectmen's meetings and you find
Nice.
little, so just to kind of help kind of make sure that it ties in with, and it's harmonious with what's there now and that sort of thing. Let's see what else.
So it's kind of part of the special permit process. So like you said, architecture experts and Michelle Tuck is the chairman, would review the design and then you would report to us, those type of things.
Yeah, it's like with the Clinton Savings Bank building, they kind of reviewed it and made sure it tied in, they kind of had that kind of New England Bolton type of character to the building.
There's very little, everything's relative, but there's very little that is approvable or able to commence without special permit in this town in terms of commercial construction, retail construction. Most everything will require a special permit process. It's got a bunch of steps to it. So because of that and because of the town's desires to keep stuff looking a certain way, it becomes a pretty important part of the special permit process. It becomes a pretty important part, I think, of getting the town's support on projects in general, because they know an application has to pass muster and get many different eyes on it. I think one of the more important set of eyes is DRB. Will something fit in? Is it harmonious with the neighborhood? Is it harmonious with the town? Kind of keywords in our special permit process that we always come back to. So,
So it's like the salt box, like went through
Yeah.
all that as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
That project.
yep.
Do they meet as needed, or is it a regular meeting?
The meet is
Like right now, I'm not sure there's any projects, any special permits on the table, so there wouldn't be any meetings, but, there, as things come up, we'll we tap the board to,
It sounds like give us
So it'll be
advice.
similar
and,
meetings, like kind of weekday evenings sometimes.
Yeah, I think it
Weekday evenings, but kind of ad hoc, right?
yeah, I would think that the group kind of decides, if you're all working, maybe a Saturday morning is a better time for you guys to meet in an evening or something, but, it's up to you guys to meet and figure out, and get a report back to us.
Okay.
Now, nuances. Correct me if I'm wrong, we were gonna post for this in the paper, we haven't yet.
We were going to, I have not yet.
Okay.
I certainly can do that.
I think we should, just from a transparency
There was a
standpoint.
blanket posting.
Yeah.
Was there?
Did that include
Yeah.
DRB? I didn't see.
I did see that.
I
don't
had
think
requested it to be in that
But it
request,
wasn't?
and then it didn't make it in, so, but, I mean, it's not uncommon that we use the information that we get from the town clerk's office to recruit people for boards. Like, we do it all the time. I've done it for not 80, actually, we've done it for design review. So,
So there's one spot remaining, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing just, I know what you're
I'm fine with
saying.
approving now.
I think we'll
She's a great, 10-year architect. Come
I
on.
don't disagree with that, but from like transparency to the town, to be able to get it out there and say,
I think we're good.
I mean, everybody gets the same,
Yeah.
list in the census, so,
exactly, yeah.
is it listed there? I want to make sure it's, okay, all right.
I'm
that's
ready.
how we, that's how
I'm
we
good
do
with
it.
approval now. Motion. I understand your point. I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah, my husband was like, is this something people vote on? And I was like, I have no idea. Is it on a ballot thing? I don't know. So whatever process is fine, but yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve Natalie Gabriel as a design review board member.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. I just will have Michelle get in touch with her and you can.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Or do the selectmen have to approve that now, or?
No, it's
Just
just
us,
planning
okay.
board.
Okay, great.
But I'll find out from the town clerk. Most board members need to be sworn in, so I don't know for design review board if it's the same process, so I'll let you know though.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much
Thank
for
you.
the meeting.
Awesome. So update on green community while we peruse minutes?
Yeah, I thought I would just give a quick update on where we are. So, town meeting went great. We passed the commercial solar as of right siting. obviously we passed the stretch code, so now we're
That's
moving on.
everything.
I know, wonderful. So now we're moving on to the energy reduction plan. We did audits over the summer through the PEX program with National Grid. We should be getting those reports any day now. And then we did receive grant money from DOER to work with MAPC to put that plan together. So it's fantastic news because, you know, we can use the help. So once we have that, then I just need to work with Board of Selectmen on a fuel efficiency vehicle policy, and then we can pretty much submit the application in November, so.
What is the vehicle policy? It'll be pretty skinny, right?
It's
We
pretty
have no
skinny, so
admin vehicles.
the idea is that, you know, for non-exempt vehicles, so anything that's used basically for admin purposes would need to be a fuel-efficient vehicle. You can't recycle them.
Are there any of those, right?
There's only a couple.
It's like the old police chief's car ends up as somebody's.
It's Harold's car.
Well, it's more than just Harold. It's Harold and I think the police department, because I've actually just recently requested it.
It's gonna be a third rail, taking away his Crown Vic.
I know. He may never talk to me again.
So his car is
A Prius.
his car is a pre-existing non-conforming.
It is at the moment, but once it breaks down and he needs a new one.
So he's just gonna like patch it up forever then, I guess.
Maybe.
The engine fell out last year, if I remember that.
Put it back in.
Yeah.
Sorry, Harry, you have to drive a Bolt.
Tesla Model X.
One of those little, the little tiny.
Smart car?
Yeah, the smart cars.
Takes the soul out of motoring. Tesla's awesome.
Do we need to, going back to the Century Mill, I mean, you said you could give us a check. Are we voting on that, or is that?
We did not vote on that. He,
So I don't know, if he
Just
tries
give us
to
a
show,
What do you think?
you made the offer to
Yep.
let him pay $140,000 and then
The only thing we
start
voted on
issuing permits again.
was consult with Affordable Housing Trust, pick an appraiser, get the appraiser engaged.
So basically,
Period.
if he shows up tomorrow with a check,
We didn't vote on it.
okay,
Do we want to vote on
Should
it?
we?
that's what I'm asking.
Can we vote on it with him not here?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Why not?
Probably not.
You
Why not?
can.
Because it's a piece of business that's done. We kept on moving.
It's not like it's a hearing though.
You know,
Why does he have to be here?
The hearing isn't
No,
closed
I
right
don't
now.
know. Maybe.
I think we can vote to have Erica, issue, up through occupancy number 25 based on a good faith deposit of 140 in lieu of for the affordable housing
I'm
law.
certainly supportive of that.
And if the appraisal is more or less, then we either refund or.
Yeah, that's
Or make up
absolutely
the difference,
right.
yeah.
Yes.
And we don't even necessarily have to deposit the check if we've got it in hand.
Yeah, because I don't want to stop closings. I don't want to.
I don't either. We were ready a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not stopping or slowing down.
It seems like.
Nor is it our responsibility
Right, no.
to monitor where he is.
I agree.
with
We have
respect
had
to-
the same conversation.
This is not us.
We've had the same conversation for 2 or 3 meetings now,
Yeah,
so.
right. I mean, we have no
Not at
idea
all.
where his lots are, so he should be the one who said, we're getting close to lot 20, we need to get this
Yeah.
affordable housing thing done.
Yeah, no.
And you should be doing it, we're getting close to 40, let's,
Yep.
take care of it ahead of time. But it's,
Erica did not have the benefit of the qualifications of the appraiser that he wanted to pick. I've emailed Fred Kuhn 4 times asking for them via email, and he hasn't sent them. So don't feel for a second that we're slowing anything down. We're slowing
So do you
nothing
want to make that motion then or not?
I'm fine with it, just as a good faith. We don't lose out on anything to say that.
And if
There's no loss.
the
So, sure.
appraisal comes in higher, then he has to pay more, right?
Yeah.
It's not like we're.
It's a deposit, so, yeah.
yeah,
how would
yeah,
deposit
I mean,
work?
we're just kind of saying, if he makes a good faith deposit, we'll kind of loosen the reins a little bit, for a little while.
Up to what, 25?
I think that's a
I
fine
arbitrarily
idea.
picked 25.
It's a fine
I mean,
idea, yeah. That allows some momentum without letting the horse out of the barn.
Right. And it means.
At the same token, and I don't know
It keeps his
this,
feet to the fire a little bit too.
this is why we're engaging an appraisal, because I can't commit to this by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
The number's probably gonna be about 140. I don't disagree with his math at all.
I mean, it's
That's
not-
probably gonna be it.
He was throwing like, I think he was thinking a lot, 70, 80, I mean, based on what he was saying. Like the combined things and,
And this goes back to, I mean, if really you're talking about a $70,000 difference, why not just take the lot and hold on to the lot?
The
What do we
way
understand?
this is written, that could get a little bit
We're going
dicey
to
too.
accept it, but
Well, but how do we accept
What
the
are we
lot
gonna do with the lot?
without paying, and factor out,
Then sometimes,
This was-
there will be a road there at some point.
This was our conversation last time. The Affordable Housing Trust doesn't want the land. And trust me, we've been through it before. We were through it. Well, God, what was the project? This is years ago. We've had the conversation, and their preference
I mean, it's a
is give me money.
substantial, but I mean, it's a substantial difference. It's $60,000, $70,000 difference between getting the lot.
The point
And then at
is,
some point,
once
right,
you
at
have
some
the
point,
lot-
there will be a road there and you can sell the lot, presumably.
Can the town
right,
then sell
but
it?
who's paying for that, who's paying for that road, I guess would be the, if we took,
The road will be built, that's the point.
right, but somebody's paying to build the road, and I think the intent, what
It's
they
an
talked about the
unimproved
last
lot
time,
value. You're right.
what they talked about last time
People try and
was,
stick us with that cost.
when they're, he tried to recoup, so he'd say, yeah, here's the lot, but, your road costs 125
Yeah.
linear foot or whatever, so you owe us
You owe me 50,000.
50 for the
Yeah.
front, because of the frontage.
Yeah.
The
Although
trust
technically
can
it
do
should be half
stuff
because
with
there's a
the
lot
lot.
on either side, but that's a separate,
But the trust can't do much with a lot. If
Sure.
they find
No, I'm just
something-
saying, yeah,
and we-
hold
and
on
we
to it,
thought
and
that
then
they
some
could
point-
explore it, but
Sell it.
If we thought that house, lot prices were about ready to jump, it might make it be worthwhile, but.
Build a nice ranch right here that'll allow us houses.
no, the 25 unit multifamily job. Anything else?
Their motion?
So do we want to make a motion to accept the?
Okay, I guess I'd make a motion that we,
To allow Erica.
to allow Erica to the flexibility to issue occupancy permits up through number 25, contingent on receiving a good faith deposit of $140,000 for the affordable unit, affordable lot.
Second?
Through 25 to 25.
Through 25.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Gives us another tool, gives him another tool.
Well, I mean, it gives him a little flexibility to deal with the closings.
Yep.
It protects us too.
Yep.
Is that it? Motion to adjourn?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
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 Approved? Any opposed?